All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Own Your Image, Effortless Style, Branding, and Extraordinary Confidence. I'm Deshante.
I'm Kanae.
And we have with us today Stephenetta Harmon. She is a beauty director, an advocate, a communications consultant, and the director for Hype Hair. She also owns a Black beauty directory called Sadia, which is a platform for Black-owned beauty and hair products. She is a powerhouse moving through the city. Welcome to our show, Stephenetta. How are you?
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Of course, we're so glad to have you here. So we want to know, how has quarantine life been for you? And also, where are you located?
Oh, quarantine life has been crazy, sheltered. I am currently in Dallas, Texas.
Oh,
That I'm like, all right, ladies. So from Dallas, I'm in Dallas, Texas. I'm from New Jersey, did some time, I call it, in Brooklyn, and some time in Minneapolis, and now I'm here. Yeah.
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So how has your business been since being in quarantine, and how have you had to try to pivot or transition?
For me, it's when people talk about, they're like, oh my gosh, this has been great, because I'm a digital media director for one of the companies I work with. And so we completely overhauled everything, dropped the print side of it, and just went full force into the digital space. So of course that's like my realm. It's been great, super busy. On the other side, it's given me time to focus on my brand, which is Sadia Black Beauty Guide. And I've been telling folks that I had to stop for myself. It was like, let's literally pause first, figure out what I want to do as this new normal, or this new crazy, or whatever we want to call it, is happening, and what it's going to look like in 6 to 12 months. And then really pivot, and then start playing to where I am now, and look at what my overall brand is, and not just this Black beauty guide that I work on, but it's one of the most important things that I'm working on right now at the same time. So getting it all together, it's maybe made me be more intentional. I would say that.
That's good.
Definitely more intentional. Yeah.
Yeah, so can you tell us a little bit about your journey into as a beauty director, and then as a Black beauty director, and then to starting your company?
Okay. I have been in the beauty space, I think, since I was a little kid, because I've been braiding hair since high school. I definitely paid mad rent in college braiding hair, and getting involved in things. And my stepmother was very much into fashion, so I was always with her wholesale shopping in the city, in New York City, all the time. Like, I don't pay retail for anything now, full retail for anything. And that was like my beginning world into beauty. And then when I started, I worked with a few Black brands across my journey, like Uptown, Vibe Dixon. And when I got to Hype Hair, when they acquired that, and I built it, and then I ended up becoming one of the writers, and then becoming the digital editor for the space. It was when I really started honing in on what Black beauty is for me. Not necessarily just saying I'm a beauty editor, but I'm a Black beauty editor. Like, I'm focused on Black-owned brands. I'm focused on the empowerment of Black beauty. I'm focused on how we are seen and represented, not just in media, but commercials, on packaging, and how we view ourselves. Helping to change that conversation about what it means to be Black owned. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be excited about being Black owned. I don't want it to be where we think, oh no, there they go.
Right.
Like, no, I'm completely the other way. Like, when you're Black owned, we take much more pride in the things that we are selling to one another. We want it to be right. We want to be able to create. We're experiential people. We're visual. We're artistic by default, by nature, who we are. And we want things to be visual. We want things to have an experience to them. We want to feel some sort of connection, some sort of ownership of what's happening. And that's why when you say something like this Black-owned brand, or this Black-owned this, it goes so far, because we're like, that's a part of us. The same way we get heartbroken when someone dies or is killed by the cops, we are still as empowered, and we celebrate when we see us doing good. when we see us doing well.
Yes.
So I love that you you have a niche, the black beauty, like you said, black beauty director, black beauty editor. Have you gotten any backlash for having a niche like that?
I wish somebody would. I wish. Like, it'd be like saying don't be black. Like, there's no, what I do get is, sometimes it'll be like, so you're a beauty editor. No, I'm a black beauty editor. And I'm like, yeah, I'm a black beauty editor because black women are the influencers in the market. They do studies and reports on our spending habits. Every year, Nielsen drops something, and we are the influencers. We control the market for what's happening in our own homes, and they build around what we buy in our own homes. They market to us, and then they start to sell to other people based on what we buy. Black women outspend every other counterpart 9 to 1 in beauty. 9 to 1 in beauty. Multi-billion-dollar industry. We're the cornerstone of the market. I don't care what anyone says. We may only be 13% of the population overall, but we are the cornerstone. Excuse me. They look to us for everything. So whatever.
Okay. I love that because I think it's important just for the audience to hear you are able to have your own niche, or is it niche or niche? Am I saying that right?
Whichever one you feel like niche.
I'm like tomato. So you are able to have a niche market, and that's okay to do that.
Yeah.
Sorry, excuse me. I had a former mentor that told me there's riches and niches. So she wanted it itches because it rhyme. Riches and niches. But at the end of the day, I want to say it's a niche, but Black women, we are everywhere. We are so prevalent, and people think that we don't, people think monetarily wise, economically, we don't matter, but we do.
Yeah,
right.
And we need to take ownership of that. I mean, Black spending was $1.3 trillion.
Right.
New York City was the top Black buying state until last year, and Texas is now the top Black buying state. Yeah. So we're looking at even where we are, and that's why I'm here, honestly. So people are like, wait, you came to Texas? Like, I'm like, yeah, because it's the economy and
it's growing.
How we shop is changing. How we build is changing. Entrepreneurship is changing.
Yeah.
And so it's not just, you're not going to be hungry necessarily, and you don't have to worry about having to slave or to be stuck in a store for 18 hours a day in order to eat. So we can be in different places and be able to affect and impact markets globally. So.
Yes, yeah, love that.
I like all of the statistics and the data that you're giving us.
Numbers all day long, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, I had no idea that was the case, especially when it came to Black women and spending. I know, we have a huge influence on the beauty market, but not putting that into numbers really paints the picture.
Yeah.
Also, we want to know, as you started building your brand and your businesses, what morals and values were, extremely important that you continue to carry out as you build?
My personal mission in life, and people get all like whatever, but my mission in life is to find you, feel you, free. And people like, wait, what does that mean? And it's
I don't think we heard you.
My mission in life is to find you, feel you, and free you. I need to get you where you are at. So it's not necessarily creating something for all the peoples. Sometimes I'm going to go one by one to where you are. And we're going to get to where you are and then talk to you about where you're at. So I need to feel how you are, how you're experiencing this life, this whatever is happening, and then we get to empower you, which is free you and get you out of that predicament, out of that situation. So that's my overall mission. And when I'm thinking in terms of morals and values for a Black beauty guide, this Black beauty director is born out of this need to each one, reach one, teach one. I'm an editor. we were putting lists together as writers every other day when, you know, you get dragged in an agent store for something for $2.99 lashes. They think you stole them, and now you're getting dragged and then you're in a chokehold. Now we want to know where to go shopping, or something else happens. And now instead of being so reactionary in all these lists that we can't find, when you think about how many lists you've seen. Can you find them now? When you think 21 Black-owned lipsticks to buy, 19 Black-owned headscarves, 5 vegan-based products. They're all lists. How do you keep that in your phone? How do you keep that in a place where you can easily access it?
Right.
Here's this directory. I want you to put your business in it. You can list it for free. And now you're being able, it's for me and it's for you, because now you can connect with other people. Now people can find you. A lot of these brands don't have websites. They don't have functioning websites. They don't have contact information on their websites or addresses on their websites. They have Instagram, but you don't own Instagram. You don't own these things. And if they don't like what you say today, they can take you down today.
Right.
I want to have a place where we can continue to connect and build. It's community. The directory is community at the end of the day. It's starting as a directory. Now there's a news portion of it where I'm going to, you know, talk about news stories that are happening in the beauty community. Let me share who launched something. Let me share this beautiful, amazing 3D fashion show. Let me, I don't know if you like
that was amazing. Yes.
Thinking about that, and then I'm going to open a marketplace, because not everyone has the ability to set up e-commerce. They don't know how. Let me show you how. Let me have this. In addition to that, here's this PR news portal, which is Black Beauty Wire, where you can start just to send your press releases. Eventually, that will be the place where people go to find Black beauty news so that they can report on it. And I have a lot of friends that talk like, why do we need a PR site for that? And I'm just like, well, I was editor-in-chief for a Black newspaper. And I remember how many times we wrote stories and the major, you know, television stations and the major market outlets would take our stories and make them bigger. They didn't know where to find their diversity. So let me be that place where you can find the diversity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, let me be that. So those are all the things. And coming back to your question about morality, it's each one, reach one, teach one. For me, there's room for more than one.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It would be like saying, why did Rihanna start Fenty? Because we already had makeup. We already had 40 plus foundations and other things. But no, we need that because we want somebody that speaks to us in a different kind of way. And she is authentic in it, and she's bringing us herself. And that's why we buy into it. So how many more of us can bring ourselves to the table and make money off of bringing ourselves to the table and creating our own tables? Stop waiting for someone to give you a seat. We got tables.
Yes.
Right.
There's so many tables.
Yes.
We got mad tables.
I think, you know, that's really great that you said that, especially for our audience, like being who you are to create a table is so important. And you don't have to necessarily find a seat at a table that you may not even belong at.
Right.
It's like, it's about you and creating that table and then having the seats for other people to come join you. So that's I love that.
Yeah.
We gotta stop. I mean, it's great. Some people need a table. Some people get those seats. We want you to get in certain places because we want to change things. Let's be clear.
Right.
But at the same time, just because you got a seat at the table doesn't mean that table is for you.
That's right. That's
Are
right.
they telling the stories that you want to tell? Are you going to fight every day?
Right.
We can have somebody in place to fight every day, but we don't all have to fight every day. If we can create other things where they see this great thing is happening, then they come and they copy. And then that's fine. You know, emulate us, you know, like you've been doing. So that at least we have more opportunities to move forward. We have to it's not like an either or. It's got to be a both and for us.
Yeah.
We got to be at the table. We got to get seats, but we have to start building our own tables, dining rooms, living rooms, the whole situation.
Right.
Like what you're doing right now, these conversations.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Absolutely.
Opening up the doors, opening up the conversations. That's really, really important. How do you feel that your personal image affects building your brand?
It's, you know, like literally last night I built my website for me personally. So Stephenetta.com, I've had this domain just since I think I had the $10 to buy the domain when I was in college. And I've just kept it because I'm like, oh, it's my name. I need to have it. And I've been building all these different things. And my friends are like, but we don't come to that for that. We come to that for you. So it's been harder for me actually to build my brands separately than it has been for me to build something. Because if I say, oh, I'm doing it, they're coming. They don't even know what it is. They're like, okay, well, it's something in here. She's been doing this beauty thing. She's been doing this artsy stuff. Whatever it is, we just gonna come because we know her. And then I'm like, oh, it's this part. Let's talk about, this is one part of me. So for me, it's been a little bit more along the lines of accepting that I'm the brand more so than
that's good.
the Daya is the brand. Because people are like, that's not a picture of you. We want a picture of you on there. And I'm like, it's not about me. I want it to be about you.
Right.
So I've had like the opposite situation in trying to really get it to be where I can have things live outside of me. And I can't wait till I get to that point where I think that will be ultimate success for me. Where it's not just like Stephenetta's Black Beauty Directory or the thing that Isis created, because that's my other name, folks know me as, that it's just, here's this Black Beauty Directory that you need to be.
I love that. I love that. Why? So my question is, because we've talked to some others about personal branding as well. Why do you want to, what makes you want to kind of separate it?
Because I can be I'm Lala. Let me finish that way. I got 20 years in this. I mean, I've done everything from having a whole rock band to building websites to being like at New York Fashion Week front row. Do you know what I mean? Like, so all those different things, it's super great. And I want to be able to live how I want to live and have that. And I do also want those brands to be able to live in the space that they need to live outside of me. I want to bring, like, I have another writer or two that I've brought in for Sadaya so that they can write on it, so they can give other voices and perspectives. I am not the only voice and I'm not the only perspective. And so my brands, my external brands cannot just be my voice and my perspective. I have to build something that can be passed on, that torches can be passed on, that, like, when I have a mentee or an intern, that they go on and do better. Do you know what I mean? It's got to be something that's growing beyond me. So if I get stuck in it's just about me, we're not going anywhere. Like, we're just not going to go anywhere. Like, I'm 42. Come on. I want to, in 10 years, I want to know that I've got a group of people that are running something. Can you imagine if the founders of Essence were still running Essence? What I'm saying, like, well, I'm not running it in terms of like owning it, but just being the face of it. Like, we don't have to be the face of everything. I want to get to that place where I'm behind the scenes. And I'm 44. I don't even know how old I am right now. I turned 42. Getting to that place where we don't get stuck on it's me and it's about me and it's everything that I do. So I was so reluctant to build this thing that's about me and what I do. And my friends are like, well, get it done. So I did it. Let me finish it. Only so I can push the next thing. So it's weird that I'm now building my thing so I can go back to push the thing that I really want to push.
That's a good point, because sometimes you have to do that. You have to push what needs to be pushed and what your clients and your customers are asking you for, and then you're able to go back and work on what it is that your other projects and things that you're trying to come out with. So that's a really good point, I think, for the audience.
Yes,
that's super big. It's something I tell my clients all the time from the PR consulting side, like, oh, we have to pause, pivot, play. That's my thing. Like, we gotta get here. We gotta look at what's happening. Come on, just kind of, think of it, sport. Let's move. Okay, stop. Let's figure it out and then get to that place. And then I'm just like, well, I don't want to do that.
Right.
Come on. So I had to have the come to Jesus with myself. Like, I do the things in the way that will get this done to the best of your ability. And we have to be okay with change. That's something that's really big in our brand development. A lot of brands, like, they'll come to me, especially like the emerging, they haven't thought out their logos. They haven't thought out their colors. You know, those, what you have to, you communicate stories with your color. You communicate stories with the font that you've chosen for your logo, or the artwork around it, the images. And sometimes we have to be okay with looking at it just like, this was good for where I was 10 years ago, or 10 months ago, or 10 days ago. But is this where it will get me to the future? What will get me to the future? What will get me beyond just tomorrow? What will give me something that's lasting, that I can build a legacy that I know when it's done, I can look back and be proud of? And we got to be okay with that.
Yes, so good. That was all really good. Take that down, guys. That was really good.
Building legacy is so important.
Yes.
So we're talking about you building and being bold and being confident and stepping out and building these brands and businesses. In terms of your confidence, is that something that you ever struggled with, building your business? And if so, how did you push through and overcome?
Sometimes it's not confident. Sometimes it's, do you feel worthy? And I mean, I battle with some of those things. I think that was part of why I didn't want to push me. I didn't necessarily feel worthy. And people like, well, and it's not even people, friends, people who I work with, clients are just like, do you know what you do? And it doesn't matter how many times someone else tells you those things, you have to be able to internalize that for yourself. And I don't think I felt worthy enough to push me. I always felt like, oh, I work for this brand, or I do this thing, or, and I'm not stuck in titles per se, but I was always tied to something that I could blame. Let me put it that way, that if something went wrong, it's not my fault. You know, something goes left, you don't have to take the onus in the same way. And so coming back to this place where it's like, not only am I taking full on responsibility if it falls, fails, whatever, and when it succeeds, it's me. And then also finding that place where I find value and worthiness in myself to be okay with pushing me to that other place, to do those other things. I've been so behind the scenes. I'm the person, I would cover a fashion show, but I'd be behind the scenes. I'd never get in front of the camera. Folks would make me do I'll do the interview off screen. I have so much audio of so many different celebrities, and they're like, you could have been in the picture or the video. I'm like, well, you know, we'll just have them talk. And I got it. I got hours and hours of footage and B-roll and everything else that I would never get in. And it was just because I had to work on me.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's what I tell people, is really finding, it's not just confidence per se, because you can fake the funk on that, but you can't fake the funk if you feel worthy enough, if you find value in yourself. Yeah. And so that's a challenge that I have for everyone. It's find value in yourself. What makes you and you unique, and what do you love about you? And what do other people love about you? And how do you impact life? How do you impact the people around you? How do you impact the spaces that you're in? And they don't have to be these grandiose, like, oh my God, I built a mountain, I moved a mountain. No, but you took the step today.
Yes.
And you got one step higher than you were yesterday. You did something. And we have to celebrate that and those small successes. So I hope I answered your question.
Yes, you did. Yes.
You did. That was good.
One step at a time.
Yeah. And finding value in yourself. I think that's really good. Knowing that you're worthy to essentially do the things that you were created to do. The gifts are all inside of us. It's just having that realization and then like you said, taking the steps and going forward with that. So good. Lots of gems, you guys.
Yes,
lots of gems.
Lots of gems. Once you were able to really find that confidence in your worthiness, how did that affect your relationships, and how did that affect you moving forward in your business and taking that step out?
One, you learn to not argue with people who know more than you. And when I say that, it's tongue in cheek, because there are people who do know more than you, and there are people that think they know more than you. Stop arguing with both. You know. You'll know. There are people, they will fight you to tooth and nail to the end. Like, let it go. Stop fighting. You know what you know. Take in what you don't know and let go of the other stuff. That's been a big thing for me in that. It's also, I'm still learning this one. I don't know if I'll ever get it all the way, but learning to shut up.
Yeah, that's
And learning to shut up means not just not listening for advice, but not offering too much. People don't always want everything.
yeah.
You think you're being helpful, and sometimes it's taken the wrong way. Wait till they ask or offer to help, and then wait for them to respond before you just start saying, well, you know what you should do? Well, I was thinking, or because I'm a copy editor too. So, you send me something, now I have to ask, like, so did you want me to edit this or not? Do you know what I mean? It's things like that. So it's learning when to shut up. It's learning to not argue with folks who know more than you. It's and also being confident in what I do know. Even though I am very much open to any sort of advice, any sort of materials, I will go home and think about it, sit with it, process it, take what I can from it. But being confident in what you do know. I've been doing this for 20 years. Why would I second guess whether or not I can code something? Or if I know how to traffic something, or if I know how to write something, or if I know how to send a press release, or if I know how to do an interview. There are things that I've just been doing, and I should be confident in those things. Always work to be better. Always work to be better. Always learn something, and always watch and see what other people are doing to see how it can either help you or you can learn what not to do. But be open, but be confident, and be sure of who you are in that.
So good.
Yes. Specifically the part of being confident of like what you've already been doing, right? We all have things that we're already good at. Some of us were just like born into being good at a certain thing, and not allowing outside influences getting you to question the thing you're good at, and then you start going down this rabbit hole of like second guessing yourself, just a whole rabbit hole of stuff that you don't even need to be in. So that really, really stuck out to me.
Oh, God. And God. Wait, so we can't forget God in that whole conversation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you gotta, there's gonna be those voices that are whispering and telling you something different than what you know. And you gotta be able to be open. I'm not sorry. Whoever needs to hear this, you have to be open to God's voice and praying for discernment, so you know when you are supposed to move, and when you are supposed to speak, and when you are supposed to reach and touch, and whatever else it is. You gotta be grounded in your faith on that. You have to. God is at the center, the foundation, the top part, the beginning, the end, all of it.
Yes, all of that.
Yes, he is. 100%. I'm glad that you brought that up, because we 100% agree.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Foundation. You need a foundation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we've talked. Oh, you know what we didn't ask you? I really want to ask you, because you're on here looking so fashionable.
Yeah, you are. I love the shirt.
I
the
love
glasses,
the shirt and the glasses.
lipstick. It's a whole vibe.
What is
Thank
your how does fashion affect your brand? How do you incorporate your fashion into all of it?
Fashion has just been a part of my life. And that's the only thing I can think of it. I grew up in wholesale stores. You know what I mean? Like shopping. I knew like hitting, the wholesale district in New York City, knowing how to buy jewelry on the low, getting custom pieces, and dressing to fit me and how I moved. I remember when I worked for the county in Minnesota for a little bit, and I had to stop listening to music in the morning before I went to work, because whatever I was listening to was what I looked like that day. And it didn't dawn on me to the end of about noon. They're like, why are you in a leather skirt? A French, I was the Tina Turner this morning. Got it. Okay. I had some old school rock playing, or I was listening to something, and I'm just like, wow, I really get dressed to what I'm listening to. I literally have to stop listening to music now. I can't get dressed to music because I will look like that song. I'm about color though, and about prints, and I'm also Liberian. I'm West African. Maybe you're gonna throw some extra things in there, just gonna be extraness around because of that. But I think your clothes just make you more of you.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything other than that. My frames are from like this time when I was performing, and we were trying to find a thing that helped me not look different in every single picture, because I literally look different in every single picture. We were like, okay, so we're gonna have the big hair and we're gonna put it up here so you always have a pump. And then I'm like, I put the glasses on, and it was the whole story, like, because there's no lenses in them. Like, I see things different. And I'm like, well, I do. I see things differently than most people. So I wear these lenses to help you get into my vision. When I'm sitting with people, they're looking and they're really intent on these frames, and then they want to poke at it, but they're listening to me more. They're focused more. I'm finding you where you are at so you can feel me, so I can free you.
Ooh, that's good. That gave me chills.
That's that part of it. I can go from all black to every single color palette. I will mix stripes and patterns, and people look like, I didn't think that worked, but it does. And I think that's just it. Fashion is just a part of it's just another expression.
Yeah.
I like shapes. I like things that make me happy. I like bigness. I like statements. I love one shoulder pieces. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I love all of that. Like, the only thing you won't get me in is a whole bunch of makeup. This is my makeup right here.
Okay.
My lips. That's it. I feel like I did the whole world. I was telling my friend I was getting dressed, and I'm like, I'm gonna put some stuff on. She was like, oh yeah, run that brush over your face. Cause it's just like a little ooh, look. I don't. I don't have nothing on, but the lips make me feel like I did something. And then you pay attention to what I'm saying. That's what I think mentally anyway. Don't lie. Just let me believe that if it's not true.
You look phenomenal. And it's about, I think, like you said, it's about what makes you feel happy, what makes you feel comfortable. For people listening, you don't have to imitate what other people are doing. Find exactly what it is that makes you happy. Right. When you put it on, when it makes you feel bold, when it makes you feel beautiful, if it makes you feel sexy, like, you should tap into those feelings and connect it to your clothing, because it's, like you said, it's another extension of who you are.
Yeah.
And so if you are intuitive to those feelings of what you put on, when you put it on, you're going to show up the best version of yourself, because that's another extension of yourself.
Yes.
You're bold, you're beautiful, colors, it fits you, and you're happy. So that comes across even via Zoom call. So that's very important.
Too. I'm like, all right, these ladies is up here and popping. Yes, thank you. So I really take that to heart. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Like, it's every day. Thank you.
So we have talked about a lot here. We've talked about branding. We've talked about confidence.
Yeah.
About your style. And I think more so, as we've asked you these questions, it all has pieced together and makes sense of, who you are, what your brand is, how you show up, what your mission is in life. So with that being said, our last question is, what does it mean to own your image?
Owning my image is owning me. It's owning the essence of me, how I move, how I breathe, how I think, how I communicate, how I present to the world. And that's a very powerful thing. We don't have to let someone dictate to us how we need to show up. and how we present in the world and what is beautiful and what is Black beauty.
Right.
I am that for me. And I'm hoping that that is that for you and whoever else I'm in the room in this space with. And that's what I encourage people to do, is to find what makes them feel beautiful and what makes them be who they are.
Yeah.
And that's only your image at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, you're looking at yourself in the mirror, no one else is. And
Right.
can you do that with confidence and with joy and pride at the end of the day? So yeah.
That is good. At the end of the day, when you wake up, do you know who you really are?
Yep.
Right? Don't have me singing Moana songs now.
Okay, so we have talked about everything. You have given so many gems to the
Yeah.
audience. We know
Thank
that you have
you.
something special for the audience that
Yes.
you would like to share.
Yes.
We'll let
I
you
do. I remember. Oh, right. Yes. So for the audience, please, if you are in the Black beauty space, if you have a Black beauty brand, and it's not just hair or makeup, it's wellness. It's if you're a dermatologist, if you are a stylist in fashion, if you are inker, all the things that speak to what make us beautiful, quote unquote. Join the directory. I have a discount coupon on the site. I'm hoping it's going to be at the bottom because I don't exactly remember what it was. Oh, OYI 2020. You can get a free year of an upgraded subscription on the page. Of course, it's free for the basic directory, but why be basic? When you can be premium, you know what I'm saying? So like, yes, get premium or, standard. Don't be basic if you don't have to be. I mean, nothing wrong with basic. Let's be clear. But if you can get to the standard and then upgrade to premium, you get free for the standard and you'll get basically half off for the premium for a year. So you can put more of your information on there. That's where the directory is where I'm really going to find new brands to talk about, to interview, to highlight. So it's not just putting in a directory. Yes, it's great to be found, but it's also a great place to start your PR and your communications and marketing positioning. So yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, the link is on the bottom for everybody. Make sure you get get in on that. That's an amazing gift. Thank you so much. And
Thank
how
you.
can we all stay in contact with you via social media?
Okay.
What you're doing.
Well, you can find me at Stephenetta.com. It's 11 letters. I know it's long and tight, but it's STEPHENETTA.com. You can find me on every other platform personally at Afrockin, which is AFROCKIN, because, I'm African who rocks. So, yeah.
Yes.
So find me on those things, and those will link you out to everything else. It'll link you out to Sadaya. It'll link you out to any consulting work you might want to talk to me about. Link you out to PR and the Black Beauty Wire and jewelry and everything else too. So, yep, find me there.
Amazing.
Yes, so good.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.